Good morning, beautiful people of the world. Good morning. It is Friday. It's Friday, baby. We gon' party to the break of dawn. That ain't really how the song go, but I put that song on my Facebook page. And I said I was going to tell you all the words to that song that I sing every Friday. But it's Friday. Amen, amen, and amen. Yes, I got on a baseball cap today. Y'all, look at this ponytail. Y'all see it? This is my hair. I took the weave ponytail off last night. I was like, I'm tired of this. It looked raggedy. I'm like, you want to get your hair done today, so just wear your own ponytail and put on a baseball cap. And that's what I did. I did. I put my base makeup on already and put on my concealer when I get here. But yeah, I was tired of looking at that ponytail sitting up on top of my head. It was looking raggedy. I couldn't take it no more, so I just took it off and slicked it, put it back in the ponytail and put this hat on. And that's what we doing today. I really didn't even need the hat on because it don't look that bad. I'm just self-conscious about it. So I just went on and put a baseball cap on. I miss wearing my baseball caps. I have so many of them that say so many different things. And I missed wearing them when my hair was short. But it is what it is. I was going to... Where are you going? Okay. I was going to let her ride my hair today. But I looked at what the weather's going to be. And it's supposed to be almost 90 by next Wednesday or Thursday. And if they send me out to do anything, digging, I'm sorry y'all, I'm not digging in my nose. My nose itches, these allergies. If they send me to do any of that, I ain't gonna make it. I ain't gonna make it in that heat with no rods, no flexi rods. And I don't have no full perm in my hair. That ain't gonna work. It's just not going to work. Oh, my stomach hurt a little bit. Just started hurting. But I thank God that today is Friday. It's May 9th, 2025. So, you guys, we got a new pope. Did you all see that? And he's from my city, Chicago. All right now, he's from Chicago. I am not Catholic, so I don't know why I was so enthralled and so invested in this, but I've been like wanting to know who was going to be the new pope. And I was so mad that I missed the smoke coming out the chimney of them saying that they had, nominated a new pope. I was like, dang. I was like, let me speed up. I was like, man, I missed it. I missed the smoke from the chimney. I was at work yesterday, but saw the announcement of it when I went to lunch, and I saw it, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, we got a new pope. And then to come to find out that he's from Chicago. All right, from the South Side. Come to find out, he taught at that ponytail. He taught at a high school here in Chicago. And I was like, wow. I was like really, really excited about that. I am going to say this. I thought for a moment, just for a moment, I don't know why I thought this. I thought they was going to nominate, we were going to have a black pope, black American pope. But it didn't happen. we've never had a. I don't think they've ever had a. We've ever had a black pope. I know we haven't, which lets me know that, like everything else, the Catholic Church is racist as well. I won't get no ticket. I can tell you that much. I could have kept going, but I don't want no ticket. Girl, I know it's a car over here, child. I know. But we've never had a black pope. And like I said, like anything else, like the rest of the world, religion has racism in it, just like any other, you know. So it is what it is. But it's racism anywhere and everywhere you go. You cannot escape it. Cannot escape it. So I knew that we would not get a new. I knew that he wouldn't be black. I knew that, but I am glad that you know, they're gonna be talking about this for weeks to come. Especially because he's American and he's from our hometown, Chicago. There's another Catholic priest that I believe he's the one who married Prince. What's his name? Henry. Is his name Henry? What's his name? The one that's married to Meghan Markle. Whatever his name is, Princess Diana's son. Anyway, I know they had a. I know. Here I go again, y'all. I know y'all like, girl, we tired of you making us fall down. We fall down, but we get up. I'm sorry. It's not on here right. That's what it keeps sliding. I don't know. But so anywho, that was good news. That was good news about the new pope. And I know a lot of people are Catholic. I have a lot of black Catholic friends, a lot. But I'm sure that the previous Pope Francis, who died a couple of weeks ago, I'm sure he is in heaven smiling, because he really wanted somebody that was going to have the same views as he does. And I think this Pope is going to be good for the world. Okay, in other news, guess what? My car is ready. Yes, that should have been the first thing I got in here talking about, right? My car is ready. They called me yesterday and told me that I can come pick up my car. So I will be there Saturday morning with another $1,900 paying for this car. It's $3,800. But it's ready, y'all. It is ready. Praise God. Thank God. Hallelujah. I'm glad it didn't take no 2 weeks, or it didn't take no 3 weeks to get it fixed. It only took from Saturday to Thursday. And my friend told me that. He said it ain't gonna take them long to get that car fixed. He said because they are a transmission shop. That's what they do. That's all they do. He was like, that car gonna be fixed. He said probably by Saturday. And they called yesterday. And the only reason why I didn't go get it yesterday was because I think they closed at 6. But my mama, I knew she wasn't going to want to drive over there to get it because my mother don't like driving in traffic. And, you know, I had to come all the way from work, all the way here. Then I would have had to go get it. So I knew she wasn't going to do it. So I said, Mom, we can go Saturday when it's less traffic. We can go Saturday morning and get the car. And that's what we going to do. So it's fixed. And I'm glad about it. So still got to figure out what I'm going to do about this gas bill. That's the other issue to worry about. But I don't know. Got to figure something out. I haven't called them yet. What else do I want to say? What else? Got to call the water department today because I went to go try to pay the water bill in April this last month, and it wouldn't let me pay it because it said I had already paid it. I guess, you know, they don't want you to overpay on stuff because they don't want to have to send no money back to you. So I don't know, I gotta call them because some stuff, it just ain't making sense to me. It just don't make sense. When in doubt, put on a hat. Can't never go wrong with a hat. What else do I want to tell you all? We talked about the Pope, the car. I'm trying to pick up any other news that I need to tell you guys. I think that was it. Those are only the two newsworthy stories I wanted to say. I did talk to my ex again. He calls me almost every day. And we were talking, and I told him, I said, we were talking because I was telling him how some of the guys at my job kind of pissed me off, right? Because, so here's the thing, ladies. It's good to have men to talk to about your car and ask them things about cars and this and that and the other, right? It's good to do that because you need to know a man's perspective on certain type of things. But on the flip side of that, sometimes men they don't always steer you right. Sometimes they can be negative, and it irritates me. So anyway, a couple of guys at my job was like, you should have just got a new car. You shouldn't keep dumping money into that car. You should just get a new car. You should just go buy a new car. I said, first of all, are y'all going to pay this car note? Are y'all going to pay the car insurance? Are y'all going to pay my mortgage? Are y'all going to pay all the other bills that I have? I'll wait. I said, my car is paid for. Okay? If I was still paying a car note, a big car note, and the engine went out and the transmission went out, I would get another car. I would trade that car in and I would get another car. I said, but this car is paid for. I'm going to say this one more again. Paid, P-A-I-D, paid no car note. I said, what do I look? I said, you know what they're going to do with my car? And so I repeated what I repeated to you all. They're going to take the car. They're going to sell the car. And they're going to sell the car for a little of nothing. And I'm going to be riding around with this heavy car note. This hefty car note. I said, you all keep forgetting my mother has a brand new RAV4, fully loaded. I said, how long y'all think my mama gonna drive? I'm not, my mama can drive till she's 90, right? She could. I don't know. But I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that I have no intentions, and I'm gonna be real honest with you all. I have no intentions of ever buying another brand new car. Unless something was to happen to both of these cars, if they got into a car accident and they got totaled. But I have no intentions. When my mom decides that she's going to no longer drive, whatever that may be, I will pick up her car note, because I'll be in a better financial position. I'm not there yet. And I'm going to give my car to Chris. You know, the car that I've been driving. I'm going to give him that car. You know, or he can have this one, whatever. But the fact of the matter is that this is what's wrong with us as people. Especially black people. We find ourselves and we keep putting ourselves in debt. More debt and more debt. Because every time something go wrong with something, instead of us fixing what we have, what we've already paid for, instead of us fixing it, we go and get something else and get ourselves right back in the same pickle, same bind. You know, understand what I'm saying? See, for me, I've been on the struggle bus too long, and I'm ready to get off this motherfucker. I'm ready to get off. I'm too old. I'm 55. I'm too old to still be on the struggle bus. I'm too old to have not acquired, and I have acquired things about my first house. I paid my car off. You know, I've done things, right? But I'm too old to keep being in debt or keep being in situations of debt, with debt. That shit, listen here, I'm tired of that. Okay, I'm tired of that. I want to live a life where I can go and eat where I want to go eat. I can go where I want to go. I can travel. I can buy what I want to buy. When I want to buy it, I can still have money in the bank saved. That's the kind of life I want to live. I don't want to keep giving up $600 or $700 and $800 for something materialistic. I don't want to keep dumping money. What I'm saying is, I don't want to keep having to pay car notes. Okay, and I might have to buy another car. I don't know. Because if we drive this car for another 10 years or another 20 years, my car get it, you know, because now I got a new engine and a new transmission. I'm telling you all, Toyota was going to do exactly what I just did. Toyota was going to rebuild that engine, that transmission. They already rebuilt the engine. You got a new radiator fan. You have new brakes, front and back. You have this, that, and the third in the car. You got a new pedal throttle. It's too much shit in there that's new. It's already a new goddamn car. You all know what a radiator fan is. You know, I had never seen one before, but it's big. And that thing was almost $300. You know, so everything in the car is new. And the two major things is that engine and that transmission. Already got a rebuilt engine. So My thing is, they're going to take my paid for car and they're going to rebuild that transmission, and they're going to go sit my car on the lot and sell it for 15 or 19,000. They're going to redo the seat. They probably going to clean up the, it's going to be considered a used car. But let me tell you something. With the rebuilt engine, new engine in that car, they're going to sell my car for way more than that. Because the value, when they go and inspect that car and see what all has been done, they're going to say, wow, she gave up her car when she could have got this car fixed. There's no car note on that car. That's my car. It ain't all beat up. It ain't got the side mirror hanging off. It ain't got the light hanging out of it. Ain't got none of that. None of that. It's 5:51. It's a little bit later. So it doesn't have any of that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have any of that requires it to say, oh, it need a lot of work. Oh, it need this. Oh, it need that. I don't know where you going. I ain't sat back there all that time. So it's not that kind of a car. And I'm just basically, like I said, I'm just basically giving them my car. They do it all the time to people. People don't think. And I understand people don't have the money right then and there to get their car fixed. I get that. But you ain't got the money right then and there to pay that first car note of $600 or $700 or $800. And I just, and so the guys at my job was like, next is going to be this, next is going to be that. I said, look here. Look here. Sorry, y'all. I'm like, look here. Look at here. I don't want to hear what it's going to be like next time. This is it. This is it. Ain't nothing else gonna happen to this car. Nothing else. Ain't nothing else gonna happen to this car. I'll be right back, y'all. Punch. So, people want you to be in debt. You know what I'm saying? People want you to be in debt. People want to say all this stupid shit to you or whatever. But like I told them, I said, If y'all not gonna help me pay this car note, I don't want to hear a fucking thing y'all got to say. And I mean that. It's like, well, you know, it's just always something with a car. Right. But here's the difference about it always being something with a car. The difference is, this is my car. This is a car that I paid off. Why would I go and put myself in more debt with a car note? I can get my car fixed and have no note, or I can go get myself in another car and have a car note for the next 5 years. I'm starting all over again. I don't want to start all over again with no car note. I don't. And with Dump being in office, you know, we don't know what's gonna happen. It's just like if I get this loan. I'm gonna try to get a loan so I can. I'm gonna try to get a loan so I can pay off. What's up, Fred?
What up, Fred? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing? Good. Happy Friday. If I get this loan, I am going to pay off this gas bill. I'm not finna send little bits and pieces, little parts, or nothing like that. Because here's the thing. I'm not getting ready to have... Let me turn this off. I'm not getting ready to be paying two things. So in other words, what I mean is, I'm not getting ready to make payment arrangements with the gas company and pay the loan off. Okay. I think the radio is on. I'm not going to pay both. Does that make sense to you all? I'm not getting ready to pay the loan back, plus make arrangements with the gas bill. That don't make sense. My house note already has increased because I couldn't pay this month's mortgage, right? So when I get paid again, I got to pay all the utility bills. Okay, I got to pay those bills or whatever. It's a lot. He's flying up here today. So, for me, I can only speak for me. For me, you got enough room? You got enough room?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Good,
all right.
you.
Okay, you're welcome. But for me, I just don't think, it doesn't make sense for me to go and pay a car note. you know, I just can't see myself doing that. I just cannot. I just can't see myself. I don't know if I'm making sense. And I may not be making sense. And you all may understand what I'm saying. And some of you all may disagree with me. Some of you all may be like them. You know, stop pouring money, you know, or putting money into that car. You know, you dumping too much money into the car. That wasn't my plan. It wasn't my plan to, you know, it wasn't like I went out and said, oh, y'all, guess what? I want a new engine in my car. Can you put a new engine in my car? That's not how that went. Can you put a new transmission in my car? Can you put a new radiator in my car? I didn't go telling them to do this to my car. You know what I'm saying? But shit happens. You know, shit happens. If I'm going to pay one thing off, I mean, if I'm going to get money, I'm not going to get money from a source just to go to another source of a bill that I have just to make a payment arrangement. I'm not finna do that. No, I'm not finna do that. I'm finna pay you motherfuckers off because I want you all gone. I want you all gone. I don't want this hanging over my head. See, I'm the type of person, I don't like shit hanging over my head. There's a lot of people that love to live on the edge. You know what I'm saying? They always trying to scam. They always trying to get out of paying something. They always trying to, well, I ain't finna, nope, not me. I'm not a system person. You know, there's people in the world that they are system people, you know, always trying to beat and fight the system. That's not me. I want to get it over with and I want to be done with it. Because I'm going to tell you something. Worrying at night, laying in the bed, having sleepless nights, these headaches I've been having, the stress that I've been feeling, that ain't no fun to me. That ain't no fun. And I'm going to tell you all this. This is why I don't do wrong. This is why all these people at this job, they got them PPP loans. They shouldn't have got them. See, I cannot. I hope I'm explaining this to you all right. I'm the type of person, I don't like living my life on the edge, right? I don't like living my life. I don't like looking over my shoulder. Well, I wonder how they coming tomorrow. I wonder how they going to contact me tomorrow. I wonder what's going to happen. Because I know that they going to, I know they coming. Ooh, what I need to do. I know they coming. I don't like that. I don't. And this is why I don't do wrong. That's why. Because I don't like it. I don't like it. See, I gotta have peace in my life. And that's with everything. That's with everything. I don't want to be nobody's friend who causes me too much chaos and too much drama. I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who causing me too much stress and too much drama. I don't want to be in a situation where I feel obligated to do anything other than what I have to do. Okay? And what I have to do is I have to come to work. I have to take care of my kid. I have to pay my bills. But anything other than that, if you can't be my peace, if you can't be my peace, what I don't want you in my life. I was telling my ex, I said, my friend, I said, I still ain't heard from him. I said, it's been 6-7 months now. He was like, really? He was like, he ain't called you? He ain't said nothing? I said, and he said, well, I know you. He said, I know you cussed him out. I said, well, I did. I said, but when I originally told him what he said and how he made me feel and what he did, I said, he blocked me. And when I found out he blocked me, I said, that's when I snapped on his ass and went off on him. And he said, well, I know you. He was like, he probably, he said, maybe he mad about that. I said, I don't give if he is. You understand what I'm saying? And he said, well, do you miss him? I said, I do miss some parts about him. I said, but when I think about what I was getting, I really wasn't getting anything, And I said, so my mind takes me back to that. I said, but do I miss him? Yeah, I miss him. Because he had become part of my life. I had gotten used to him. I said, but what I know is, and what I feel is that he never really wanted me. He never was for me, even in friendship. I said, that much I do know. And I said, so when I think about that, and I know that, I said, it makes me say, it makes me say, you're not really missing out on nothing. So I'm kind of, I'm kind of glad about that in a way, because it makes me say to myself, it makes me say to myself, you know what you want. And it wasn't even so much that I wanted a relationship with him. I wanted him to be the type of friend that I was to him. And it was not reciprocated because he didn't feel what I felt. You know what I'm saying? He didn't feel what I felt. And because he didn't feel what I felt, he never could reciprocate it. My mother's always said you was in love with him because of the way that you cared for him. I don't, and Nick Techniques has said the same thing. I really don't feel that I was in love with him. But see, I had liked him for so long, I guess that by the time we started to really, encounter or do what we did, my feelings for him was growing stronger. But I don't really feel like I was in love with him. But my mother said you were, because you cared for him too much. You cared for him. And she said the way in which you was always buying him stuff to help him with his pain because of the type of job he had. She said, when you care for somebody like that, you're in love with them. I don't know. I just, maybe I'm in denial about the fact that I was in love with them. I don't know. But I know how I am when I am in love with somebody. But I definitely cared about him. And I hated to hear him talk about how much pain he was in. And I did try to help him with his pain. But when I tell you, it was like pulling teeth to get this man to just take me out on a date. It was like pulling teeth for this man to just bring me some roses. I can't tell y'all how many times I said to him how much I love roses. Every grocery store in America, Trader Joe's, Myers, Jewel Osco here in Chicago, Walmart. Everybody got a Walmart in a city. Every grocery store has flowers, fresh flowers. As soon as you walk in the door. As soon as you walk in the door of Walmart, there's flowers. You walk into Trader Joe's, flowers. You work into Whole Foods, flowers. You walk into Pete's, flowers. You walk into Jewel's, flowers. You could be driving down the street and it could be a man standing there selling some flowers. This man would never ever bring me just some flowers. He would show up at my house with nothing in his hand. How do you do that? Even if I ain't your woman, how do you show up here? You come, I see you. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding you all. I would see this man either Friday night or Saturday night, or both. And me and you are constantly, we talk on the phone, we text each other every day. I'm making love to you on a regular basis every weekend. You're over here. You either, most of the times when he came over, if I was out, I would say, I would call him or text him, hey, have you eaten? No, I haven't ate nothing. Well, I'm going to get me and Chris, blah, 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 blah. You want something? Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I did that. But I promise you, he would walk through that door. He will walk through that door, where I am right now, and where I was in that apartment. He will walk through that door empty-handed. No flowers, no candy, no card. I mean, why is it that sometimes you can't text me or call me and say, hey, have you eaten? Or, hey, you know what? I'm out and about, and I'm over here by this shrimp place, knowing how much I love seafood. I'm over here at this seafood place, or wherever. You got time? Come meet me, or we can get a bite to eat. Oh, you can't meet me? Okay, well, I know I'm going to see you later. I tell you what, I'm going to get an order to go and bring it to you. Never did he do that. I remember I was so hurt. I'm not going to even say I was hurt, but I was a little jealous. And I don't even know how to describe it. I was a little jealous. I was a little envious because he told me that he was taking his daughters out to dinner. And I was just like, okay. Like, that's good, as a dad, that you're taking your daughters out to dinner, but why you ain't never take me out to dinner? Why you can't never say, Sherelle, let's go. I'm going to take you out to dinner this weekend. I ain't going to tell you where we going, but I'm going to take you out to dinner. And I know how our relationship started, how it was supposed to be. I know that it was supposed to be just a hookup, right? It's supposed to be just what it was. But it kept going and going and going. We bought each other Christmas presents. He kept coming to my house. I never went over there. That was another thing I had an issue with. So I started to question that. I said, are you living with somebody? I said, because this is weird to me. And that was a big deal for me. And he never, ever, ever, never walked through my door with something in his hand for me. And when he did, hold on, I can't see nothing. When he did walk through my door with something in his hand for me, you know why he walked in the door with something in his hand for me? Was because I asked him, could he bring me something to eat? It was never offered. One day I was hungry and I knew he was coming over there. And I said, I'm gonna text him and tell him that I'm hungry. So I text him and I said, hey, now this was the second go round of us starting back to talk. I said, hey, I said, can you bring me something to eat because I'm hungry? So he said, yeah. So he said, what do you want? So I told him what I wanted. And he said, okay. And he brought it. Something was going on with the front door. I called him up. I knew he was coming over. I said, hey, can you do me a favor? I said, when you come over, can you bring your electric drill? Because I need to put this thing on the door. And I don't have the right equipment. He said, okay. He did that. Then he gave me $50 one day. He was leaving. And he went down in his wallet and he gave me $50. And I said, oh, what's this for? He said, oh, I'm just giving you something. I don't know, buy yourself some lunch, go get your hair done. Something he said. So he had he was starting to do it, but it took him so long to do it, and he still was slow about doing it. So I was really shocked when he did those few little things that he did do. I was really shocked. But he still wouldn't do certain things. He just wouldn't do it. You know, he just wouldn't do it. So when I think about that, because like I said, you don't have to be in a relationship with somebody for somebody to care for you and somebody to do things for you because they care for you. And I guess the way that I cared for him, he didn't care for me like that. You know, everything with him, it was like pulling teeth. So I had told him, I said, you make me feel like you're ashamed of me. Like you don't want to be seen with me. You don't want to go out nowhere in public with me. I said, and then when you see me at things where our classmates are around, I said, you don't even come over and really talk to me or hug me. You kind of he was always so worried about what other people thought or what other people would know. And that was another thing that bothered me. I said, these motherfuckers don't care nothing about me or you. And they damn for sure don't care about what me and you are doing. I'm not saying that for us not to keep it private. I said, but they don't care. Woo! Damn it. Damn. I dropped this on my coat. Oh no, this gonna leave. Shit. Maybe it'll come out. See how I dropped that blush? Damn. I said, they don't give a damn about me or you. I said, and you worried about the wrong thing. I said, you so worried about them and what they gonna say and what they think and them knowing that me and you are doing what we doing. I said, they don't care. He would always bring that up. Well, I don't want. Why? Why? I said, why you care about them? Why you care about what other people think? Why? I said, when you gonna start to care about what I think? When you gonna start to care about how I feel? Why are you so concerned about everybody else? I said, they don't care. And why do you care about them caring? It was weird to me. It was just weird. But I said all that to say that, I miss him because, I miss some things about him. I do. But, I miss some things about him. Because like I said, he had become part of my life, and he had become like part of my, me seeing him and all of that. But what I guess what I'm saying is that when I think about what he did not do, all the stuff he didn't do, I'm like, what is there to miss? What is there to miss? Because it's not like, he did something spectacular in the relationship. It's not like, he paid for stuff, or he was doing something, or we was doing a whole lot. We wasn't. And the last time we were supposed to go out, he told me that he had a tooth pull. And we couldn't go because he had his tooth pulled. We were supposed to go out on a Friday. I hadn't heard from him all day long. So I was like, So me being me, I'm very impatient. You need to tell me what's up. So I called him. I texted him. I said, hey. I said, what's up? Are we going out tonight? Just asked him, came right point blank period and asked, I'm not finna play no games with you. I'm not finna be sitting around waiting on you. I'm not finna do all of that. So I said, hey, are we going out tonight? So he texts back, hey, I don't think, and I knew he was gonna bail. He said, hey, I think that, no, he said, I think. He said, hey, he said, I don't think tonight is a good night. He said, because I just came back from the dentist and I had to have my tooth pulled. And I'm in a lot of pain. I'm in pain. He said, I had my tooth pulled. He said, I'm not going to be able to eat because, my mouth is sore. So, hold on. What do you want? What's up?
You want my assigned parking spot. I just want you. That's why I have a sign right
now. I saw him put that
What's
up
up
there.
with your ride?
This is my mama's car.
Oh, I'm about to say.
Yeah, this is my mama's car. Yeah, my car is in the shop. I go get it Saturday.
Like that. She got more money and shit.
I wish. So he was like, I got my tooth pulled and I'm not gonna be able to eat. And I was like, okay. And he was like, yeah, my mouth is sore. He said, so he said maybe we can do it tomorrow or Sunday when my mouth is feeling a little bit better. Well, I knew he was lying. He didn't, I'm gonna tell y'all, the man didn't want to go out in public with me. I'm not an ugly woman. I'm not a woman that get out in public and embarrass you. I ain't none of them things. He didn't want to go with me because he had something else going on with somebody else. And I believe that. I believe that, there was, as much as he would call and text me and I would see him every weekend, I still believe he had something going on with somebody else. I do. And you can't convince me that he didn't. Although he told me this and he told me that, I didn't believe that. So I said, okay. So the next day was Saturday. I texted him. I said, how's your mouth feeling? Because I knew it was a lie. He said, it still feel a little funny. He said, but they said it's going to feel like this. And he said, but it's still sore. I said, okay. So Sunday came. And he texted me and he said, hey, good morning. How you doing? I was like, good morning. How you feeling? I feel better. My mouth still is sore, which when you get a tooth pulled, your mouth is sore a couple of days. He said, but I'm getting ready to go to the gun range. And, you know, that's what he did. He would go to the gun range. So I said, oh, okay. He said, but I wanted to know if I could come see you after I leave. So I said, okay, yeah. So he came over after he shot, but here's the thing. If you going to the gun range, why you didn't say, when I'm done here at the gun range, meet me at such and such a place so we can get a bite to eat? You never said that. So he comes over. His jaw wasn't swollen or nothing. Not that I could notice anyway. We didn't do a lot of kissing because he said his mouth was sore. So I said to him before we, I said, I want to believe that you had your tooth pulled. I said, it's hard for me to believe that because of your track record. And so he said, what you mean? So I went on to telling him what I thought and what my theory was about, him lying. He was like, first of all, he said, I told you this before, and I'm going to tell you this again. I'm not ashamed to be anywhere with you. He said, I was going to prove that to you Friday. He said, but I had to have my tooth pulled. And I said, okay. I said, well, we going to see. So the next weekend, we were supposed to go out, and he come with another excuse. Now, this was all leading up to that Wednesday that we got into the argument, okay? And it really wasn't an argument, but this is all leading up to that. So I knew that something was about to break. And I knew that we was getting ready to, I felt like when he was leaving for his trip, I said to myself, first of all, I never believed he went on the trip with a bunch of dudes, okay, with his male friends. I never believed that. I believe he went on the trip with a woman, okay? I don't know why he came to see me the night before if he was going on a trip with a woman, but he did. We were supposed to hook up before he left. And nothing happened because he walked in the door being nasty and mean to me. And once he did that, I was completely turned the fuck off. I was turned off. I didn't want to do nothing with him, and I didn't. And that's why he was mad at me when he left. But I do believe that he went on a trip with a woman. I do believe that he has always had somebody, whether she mean a whole lot to him or not or whatever. I believe he got somebody. You just can't convince me that he don't. He can't convince me that he don't have somebody. I believe in my heart of hearts that he does. And I just believe that. It may not be nothing serious, but it's something that he got going on with somebody. Something that he got going on with somebody that lets me, because he gives it away too much by what he does. And I've been in this thing too long with men not to know how they move, okay? And I just always felt like this ain't right. Something ain't right with you, and you ain't telling the whole story, because they lie so much. They lie just to lie. They can walk out and say, the sun ain't shining, and the sun is shining just as bright, but they'll lie and say it's not. Men are, I'm going to say this, men that are always on game are liars. And he's a liar. He's a huge liar. And it was just that I wasn't trying to catch him up in nothing because we wasn't like that. But you still a fucking liar. Still a liar. You still a liar. And I don't understand why men lie about what they doing or who they doing it with or whatever. I just don't understand that. And I ain't never understood why you feel like you gotta lie. Why you feel like you can't tell the truth about what it really is. I just don't understand that. I don't get that. I never understood that. But he's a liar. He a liar. He just is. And I lost a lot of respect for him because of that. And then what he did when he walked out of my door, calling me a goofy ass or a silly ass or whatever name he called me, I was done. I was like, oh no, you don't get to come in my motherfucking house and treat me mean. And then walk about this bitch calling me no name. Who the fuck are you? You know, and I didn't even know that he had did that until I went back and looked on my Ring camera and heard it. And I sent it to him. And I said, you ain't got to ever come back over here no more. But what you ain't gonna do, you ain't gonna disrespect me. You ain't gonna talk to me any kind of way. And that's what set it off when I said that. And that's why to this day, that's why we not talking. And then when I found out he blocked me, I went off. I told him about himself. I told him he a liar. I said, you ain't shit. Blah, 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 blah. And that's why he ain't never called me to this day, because I cussed him out really bad. Real bad. Real bad. So I wouldn't call me either, to be honest. You know, but I know I'm going to see him at something or, you know, or whatever. But I have nothing to say. I'm not that type of person where I'm going to get up in somebody's face and be, I don't like people in my business. I don't like no audience. I said what I said to you in private, and now you don't motherfucking exist. And if he came over to me to say something to me, I would tell him, I don't talk to dead people. Because you died November 19th. So I ain't got shit for you. And when you really think about, when you start really thinking about how people have treated you, it makes you say to yourself, I'm glad you fucking gone. I'm glad you gone. Yeah, I miss you in some ways, but I'm glad you gone because I wasn't getting shit out of this. I wasn't getting nothing out of this. You didn't know how to be a friend to me. You know, really and truly, when I got ready to move and I had to pack all that stuff and he didn't help me, you know. And see, and that's the thing about me. I just give people way too many chances. I give people too many chances. I give people too many chances. I give people too many chances. You know, and that's not nobody's fault but my own. You know, that ain't nobody's fault but my own. I take full responsibility of that. You know, I'm the type of person that I can forgive you and let you come back. But when you have hit that level with me, when you have just did so much to me to that point, So anyway, y'all, it is Friday, and I really didn't have no subject. I'm just talking about random stuff. Just brought him up. But it's Friday. I'm glad it's Friday. I'm glad I'm getting my car back tomorrow. I'm curious about, you know, how it's going to run and all of that. And so I'm grateful and I'm thankful that I'm getting my car back. I am. I'm glad about that. So I'm going to let you all go. I hope you all have a great day today. I hope and pray that you had a good week this week. I hope that something happened good to you, something happened good for you. I hope you was a blessing, that you received a blessing and you was a blessing to somebody. I hope that your week was filled with love and happiness, and more importantly, that you were safe and protected all week long. Okay, so I will see you all tomorrow, Saturday, and we're gonna chat some more. Okay, all right, have a good blessed day. All right, bye.